Hey, so 9 months ago the Don created one of the greatest videos I have ever seen. That being his playthrough of Sticker Star, in which he tried to beat the game in as little battles as possible to show its flaws as an RPG. Now, me being a huge fan of Sticker Star, I wanted to do a little add-on to his video that goes through the battles he deemed unperfectable, but actually are. I will also talk about alternative strats for some battles as well as some tricks that Sticker Star has to offer. Disclaimer: this video is not meant to poke fun at the original video made by Don Shnacks. As I already said, it's one of my favorite videos ever made and I'm just nerding about Sticker Star here. The Don also said in his video that he's supposed to represent the quote common asshole, so I'm here to represent the nerd or something. Please also excuse the sloppy editing of this video. I have no idea how to edit and made this in Microsoft Clipchamp. All uncredited footage will be either taken from my own videos or made by me for this video. Let's get started. Before we can look at what battles can be changed, let's first look at all the battles that the Don has tagged as perfectable and unperfectable. The perfectable battles. The Bowser Jr. fights 1 and 2, the 5 Goombas in 1-2, the Kamek fights 1, 2 and 3, the Mega Sparkle Goomba, the Boomerang Bros, all 4 Wiggler segment fights, Gooper Blooper, the 3 Paracoopas in 2-2, the Tower Power Pokey, the 13 Boo fights in Enix Mansion, the Big Boo, the 2 Spare Guys in World 5-1, and PD Piranha. For the unperfectable fights, we have the 3 Goombas at the end of Dekelberg, the 3 Spiny Goombas at the end of 1-1, the Big Scuttlebug in 3-7, the Big Cheep Cheep at Surfshine Harbor, the Bowser Snow Statue, Bowser Jr. at the end of level 6-1, and the final Bowser fight. Now let's look at the battles that I find can be perfected or skipped. The Don has mentioned in his video that the boss fights are perfectable, but he wouldn't show it off. So I'll start by quickly going through those just to be thorough. The Mega Sparkle Goomba is a pretty easy fight to perfect, since he has only 100 HP. So the strat would be to either use 2 Thing stickers that deal 50 plus damage, or give the Goomba the crumble effect, so a normal sticker also deals 50 damage. The Goomba cannot be killed by one attack, since the game will cap the damage taken from the first attack at 50, so the Goomba can actually transform into his Mega Sparkle form. For Tower Power Pokey, we first need to talk about how damage multipliers work in this game. Mario can deal double damage from giving himself more power with the boombox or by crumbling the opponent. By combining those two, Mario can deal quadruple the damage he normally would. For a normal Thing sticker, that damage would be useless since Mario can only do a maximum of 99 damage with a single hit. But multi-hit things, like the Goat or the Squirt Gun, will do easily over 300 damage. So for Pokey, a crumble effect plus boombox will kill in one turn. Gooper Blooper works the same way as Tower Power Pokey, but with the Goat instead of the Squirt Gun, since the Squirt Gun doesn't deal damage to the Blooper. Like Don already mentioned in his video, PD Piranha has a very unique way for the perfect. You need to first get Kersey back by dealing a lot of damage to the belly, then by running and re-entering the battle, you can get an easy kill by just knocking Petey down with a POW and using a bunch of strong jump stickers. Now that we are done with the bosses of the game, let's get into the first fight that I actually want to talk about. The first actual fight I want to go over are the 3 Goombas at the end of Decalberg. There is a little trick that can be used to bypass them without actually doing the battle. Now you'd think this is just a required fight that is skippable with a glitch. What you have to consider though, you have to do this skip every time you want to leave Decalberg from now on. Therefore it is very tedious and not worth to do. For the next fight, that being the 3 spiky Goombas at the end of 1-1, I need to first talk about a glitch that is known as Cool Album. This trick was first discovered on Reddit by the user FFSDFSD2, who later revealed himself to be the user Cool name on Discord. Cool Album is a trick that can bypass multiple cutscene triggers in Sticker Star by just opening the album while standing in the right spot. As far as I know, it's unknown why this trick works, but I will share my theory on it. When Mario opens the album while facing north, his position is reset to facing south, which moves Mario's position slightly forward in the direction he's facing. If you move Mario into a cutscene trigger that way, the cutscene won't play. Cool Album is for example used in the speedrun to skip the Wiggle kidnapping scene at the start of 3-1. It can also be used for a trick in 5-5 called Lava Walk, which allows Mario to skip the entire passage by activating the cutscene while falling into the lava below. But as you can already guess, Cool Album can also be used to skip the encounter with the 3 spiny Goombas, making them a skippable battle. The battle with the 5 Goombas in 1-2 is technically also skippable with Cool Album, but if you skip it once, you will never get the slot ability and therefore can't perfect a lot of battles. So this one is technically skippable, but not worth doing so. The next battle I will talk about has probably the coolest trick Sticker Star has to offer, that being Sphinx Clip. In level 2-2, the Yoshi Sphinx, you can completely skip the encounter with the red Paracoopas. In this level, Mario can clip out of bounds by jumping down this ledge while facing away from the wall. Mario can then walk around freely inside of the Sphinx. Then in this spot, Mario can move upright and jump to get to the top of the Sphinx without activating the encounter for the Paracoopas. The Discord user Saku made the first post about Sphinx Clip that I could find. From now on, Don was very accurate with what battles were perfectible or not, so I will mostly talk about the bosses and some stuff I personally find interesting. Our next battle on the list is the Big Scuttlebug in 3-7. Don was correct in the assumption that this battle is unperfectible. However, you can beat the Scuttlebug without breaking the spider web at all. if Mario has the poison effect gained by a poison mushroom applied and jumps onto the web, every time he's kicked down by the scuttlebug, it will take 10 damage. So 2 jumps with poison just kills the thing without ever fully destroying the web. The big cheap is one of the more knowledge-heavy battles. Don originally used a thumb tag in the video, thinking it was a damage item. To his credit, it did 35 damage to the cheap. The reason it did though, is because the cheap is like a balloon that can be popped. The thumb tag only did 35 damage because the cheap always jumps in the water before dying. So what we need to do to perfect the fight is getting a 3-slot spin, use a sticker that does at least 35 damage, and then use the hook and the thumb tag to kill the cheap. Or not. I was sure that the thumb tag worked like that, so I thought maybe it didn't work for me because I'm playing on the Chinese version. I knew Don had an English copy, so I played the whole thing again, but this time on American. It has to work now, I'm sure of it. Yeah, at this point I was so confused, so I asked in the pantry Discord and figured out that Don played the British version. So I played the whole thing a 3rd time, but this time on my German copy. And once again, nothing. So at this point I was so lost that I went back to Don's stream archive to watch the stream back. That's when I encountered something
truly bizarre.
Don got an excellent when he used the thumb tag. I did not. So I started doing some testing, and sure enough, the thumb tag only does damage if the thing is timed. So I guess the cheap really is unperfectable on 20 HP. The reason I thought the thumb tag would insta-kill in the first place was because the cheap can be one-shot by a spiny helmet. However, the cheap will do 30 damage in the process. So that's why I said that it isn't possible on 20 HP. But that's when I had an idea. In the upgrade slots, it is possible to get an infinity jump from a flashy line jump sticker, even though the infinity jump is usually only accessible in World 4 and 5. And by using the infinite jump on a cheap, it is possible to get a perfect with only 20 HP. On the topic of HP, I've heard a lot of people talk about the base damage in this game, and I always think to myself, why even mention this? The base damage doesn't really matter in this game, since it doesn't affect the damage of stickers at all, only the overworld damage. So I killed a Sniffit on every single HP stat with a jump and a jump plus frog suit just to prove that stickers have a base set of damage that is unaffected by Mario's base attack. I also hit a spear guy with a first attack on every HP stat just to show that the first attack is the only effect on Mario's base attack. My research concluded that both jump and jump plus frog suit attack will always do 11 and 25 damage to the Sniffit. But when it comes to the first attack, it will increase by 1 for every 10 HP Mario gains. Once the damage Mario does is the same as the enemy's HP, Mario will kill the enemy on the overworld without starting a fight. The first attack is affected if an enemy has a defense though, so the shiny Goombas in 4-1 will for example only take half the damage. Oh, and getting the royal stickers back from the boss enemies also doesn't affect your damage output. It just changes the stickers you can buy in the Decalberg shop. The last battle I will talk about is the Bowser Jr. fight in World 6-1. To get to that fight, it's actually possible to skip almost the entirety of the Flotilla by using Flotilla Hammer Boost, a tech found by Saku in 2021, which lets you damage boost your way over the fence with the Hammer Bros. Now Bowser Jr. is a very easy battle to perfect. Just a Boombox and Mega Flash Infinite Jump sticker will do. Also fun fact, the Infinite Jump isn't actually infinite, but just 100 jumps in total. If I subtract the battles I've talked about from Don's total of 39 required battles with 7 unperfectable ones, we get a new total of 37 required battles, which includes 2 battles that are technically skippable, and only 5 unperfectable battles, also including the 2 technically skippable ones. Quick update after the video is already completed. My good friend LC has brought it to my attention that it might only be possible to pop the Cheep with the thumbtack after he has already pumped himself up. And sure enough, he was correct. Now that I've come to the end, I'd like to say a few words to the Don personally. I've been watching and quoting your videos since you first uploaded your Sticker Star video. I have watched and loved all your videos since, and you've grown to be my favorite creator on YouTube. From personal experience, I can say you have a positive effect on a lot of people's lives and bring joy to a lot of us. And from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to say thank you for that. This is me after the video editing is now finished. I now also have a much greater appreciation for the sheer amount of work you put in towards your videos, since I now know how hard it is to edit one. It has taken me multiple hours to edit this little project of mine together, so yeah, thank you for that as well. This has been my little video on Sticker Star. I hope you enjoyed.